Good evening and welcome to our first ever virtual eighth grade parent orientation. My name is Joe DeMeo and I am one of the assistant principals here at Eastchester High School. While we wish we could all be together to greet and speak with you in person, I am confident that tonight all our presenters will provide you with enough information that will help to ease the anxiety levels of both you and your child. Eastchester High School is a wonderful place, a place where your child can flourish in the classroom, on the athletic fields, and in the arts. There are several opportunities for them to showcase their talent. And as always, everyone is here willing to lend a helping hand. As the presenters speak, I suggest you jot down any questions you may have. At the conclusion of our evening, you will be provided with emails of all the presenters to which you can forward your questions. So sit back, relax, and enjoy a wonderful evening we have planned for you. At this time, I would ask the presenters to kindly introduce themselves.
Good evening. I'm Susan Chester. I am the Supervisor of Humanities.
Good evening. I am Karina Barrera and I am Chairperson of World Languages.
Good evening. I'm Jared Blair. I'm the K-12 Supervisor of STEM.
Good evening. I'm Mark Dodge. I am the Music Department Chair.
Hi, everyone. Good evening. I'm Rachel Sadlowski, Chair of Art.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Lauren Steepo, a teacher in the Business Education Department.
Hello, everyone. My name is Tom Lehman. I'm the Director of Athletics, Physical Education, and Health.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Vidya Bhatt. I'm one of the assistant principals.
Good evening, everyone. My name is Heather Riley, and I'm the High School Counseling Department Chairperson.
Welcome, 8th grade class of 2021. I'm Dr. Capuano, principal of Eastchester High School. We are so glad to be with you and your parents this evening to discuss your transition to the high school. In around 60 school days, you'll no longer be the class of 2021. You'll be the class of 2025. I don't know if any of you have read the book, The Lion, the Witch, and the Wardrobe by C.S. Lewis, or cheated a little bit and saw the movie with the same name. The fictional land of Narnia was plunged into a deep winter with no hope of spring. I think we've been in a literal and a figurative deep winter since last March. I'm glad to say that I think spring is finally here. I think our issues with COVID are starting to subside, and we're going to enjoy a nice warm spring as the winter of 2021 went out this past weekend. Tonight is our first step toward normalcy at the high school. Tonight is the first thing we've done as a school that's forward-thinking, looking toward an academic school year next year. We're so glad to be able to do this with you tonight. Take a look at the school seal that's on the screen in front of you. On that Eastchester school seal are 3 Latin words: scientia, fortitudo, and sapientia. Now, students, if you happen to take the elective Latin next year, you'll be able to tell your parents what those words actually mean. Your high school experience can be summarized in these 3 words. These words are our tradition, our guide, and our ultimate goal. Scientia means knowledge. Fortitudo means moral courage. And sapientia means wisdom. Scientia, we'll talk about that first. Knowledge. Scholarship at Eastchester High School is our primary goal. EHS offers 25 AP classes or courses for college credit. Last year alone, we gave 600 AP exams with 88% of our students earning a 3 or higher. 61% of our students earned 4s or 5s, and those are the highest scores possible, moms and dads. If you earn a 4 or a 5, that typically translates into college credit when your child goes on to college. A number of our students entered college this year for their freshman year, actually as sophomores, because of the number of courses that they took at the high school that gave them AP or college credit. Last year's graduating class earned 1,012 college acceptances. That's over 4 per student to some of the best colleges and universities in the country. As a result of our students' successes, we are regularly recognized by Newsweek as one of America's top high schools, being ranked in the top 5% of all high schools in the nation. Not only do we want to ensure that our students are prepared in their academic arena, but we believe that a well-rounded individual needs training and appreciation in the arts as well. Scientia, knowledge in academics and the arts, is our primary goal. While being bright and academically astute is very important to us, scientia is nothing without fortitudo. Fortitudo means moral courage. Do we want them to achieve academically and in the arts? Without a doubt. Do we want our students to access the best universities in the country? Of course we do. Do we want them to someday become leaders in their chosen professions? Absolutely. However, without moral courage, or the better term, character, true success isn't achievable. While character development occurs in each of our classes, it is also fostered through our many extracurricular activities and athletic teams. We have 30+ clubs and 35 athletic teams for your child to choose from. We encourage our freshmen to become involved in 1 or 2 activities during their years in high school. Not 10 or 15, just 1 or 2 activities or sports, and to do them well. Through classes, athletics, and clubs, the concepts of discipline, work ethic, persistence, honesty, kindness, selflessness, teamwork, and service to community are reinforced. On to the last word on the seal. Sapientia means wisdom, which is the combination of knowledge, which we talked about, scientia, and character, fortitudo, leading to the ability to make right choices all the time. Everything we do, academically, athletically, and artistically at Eastchester High School must revolve around the primary objectives of scholarship and character, leading to a lifetime of wise choices. You're going to see a list of colleges start to scroll in front of you. I'd like to share that list with you. These are some of the colleges our students got into in the last few years. You will notice schools in art, film, and music. Our students have gone on to excel in both the fine and performing arts, many succeeding at the top of their fields. There are schools in engineering and math, some of the most prestigious in the country. There are schools in science, with our graduates attending to quench an interest in scientific research. There are schools that train for specific fields, like the medical professions or law enforcement. There are liberal arts schools, which provide a well-roundedness that some of our students desire. There are local schools, as well as schools located across the country. There are large Division I schools and small personal Division III schools. There are religious independent schools and secular state schools. On this list are the best schools in the country. On this list are, in fact, the best schools in the world. You will notice that our students got into the majority of US News and World Report's top 50 American universities. Your child will have the same opportunities as those students who now call EHS their alma mater. As I've said to our students for a number of years, the students who got into the schools on this list live on the same streets, walk in the same halls, have the same teachers, and take the same classes that your children are going to take. There's no reason our class of 2025 can't get into the same schools. Your child will have the same opportunities as the students who came before them. Tonight, you're going to hear about how to prepare to get into similar schools, but more importantly, how to get the most out of your time at EHS. Tonight's presentation is going to be broken into 3 segments. The first is Scientia, it's knowledge. You will learn about the courses and the electives that we offer. You'll hear about our English and social studies and foreign language classes first. Then you'll hear about our math and our science classes. Then you'll hear about our performing and fine arts program, concluding our study of academics with our business classes. Then we'll be moving on from Scientia to Fortitudo. We'll be looking at those areas that build character beyond just the classroom. You'll be hearing about our offerings in our athletic and our extracurricular programs and how to become involved in them. We will then finish with a discussion of the scheduling process, which will occur over the next few weeks. Your counselors are prepared and ready to begin meeting with you after spring break. As you listen this evening, please use the worksheet that I emailed to you on Friday to take notes and jot down questions. Since most of your questions will be specific to your own child, we'd ask you to email our presenters directly at the conclusion of this evening. We will be answering all your questions. We want to answer all your questions, but because of the size of the group and the specificity of the questions, we figured it best to target your questions directly to the supervisor or department chair who could answer them directly back to you. At the end of this evening, I'll give you the contact information to reach out directly to our team. And also, this presentation is being recorded, so we'll be posting it for your view. I'll be getting you that link as well. At this point, I'd like to welcome Susan Chester, the Supervisor of Humanities, to speak to you now about English and Social Studies.
Thank you, and welcome parents and students. Again, I'm Susan Chester, Supervisor of Humanities, to talk about English and Social Studies. We'll start with English. All right, so in 9th grade, students are going to be scheduled either for English 9, which is a Regents level course, or English 9 honors. And I'll talk in a moment about the honors process. I've listed for you the books that are read in both English 9 and in English 9H. And those are, of course, supplemented with, other short texts and background texts to enhance the literary experience for students. Okay. For the difference between 9 and 9 honors is what follows here on this slide. And I imagine that this is where a lot of people have some questions, and I'm going to give you as much information as I can right now. So we base our admittance into honors on 2 criteria. So number 1, if your student has an average for quarters 1 and 2, in English 8, the course they're currently taking, between a 95.0 and a 100, your child will be automatically admitted into English 9 honors, and that's what will appear on their schedule. If that appears on their schedule, do you have the opportunity to say, no, I'd prefer if my student was in the Regents level class? Absolutely, but that automatic scheduling happens for students in that category, 95.0 to 100. The second category, the second criteria, is for students that have an average in English 8 of between 92.0 and 94.9. For those students, we require an assessment for the honors course. I already have a listing of all of the students that have qualified for the assessment, and I will be reaching out in the next few days via email with information regarding the honors assessment. I do have a date for you, Wednesday, April 14th. Once again, if you know you fall into that category based on grades from quarters 1 and 2, be on the lookout for an email from me. And parents, I'm going to send it to you and your child just to be safe, that make sure that it's received. If you know that you're in one of these categories, but you don't hear from me or you don't see honors in your students' courses, by all means, reach out to me. For the rest of our program, we offer English 10 and 10 honors, English 11, or AP Language and Composition. At the end of the 11th grade year, there is the New York State English Regents, which is taken by all of our 11th graders. And then if they're in the AP course, also the AP exam. And then similarly for English 12, there's also the AP option of AP Literature and Composition. And returning to the honors question and the AP question for just a moment, if your child is not admitted to honors in 9th grade, that does not mean they can't qualify for an honors course in English later on. It's a decision that's made every year. It is not a track that you're getting on and can't get off. There are many entry points into our honors courses. Okay, we have one English elective open to freshmen. It's popular, our film studies course, which examines the stories behind the making of blockbusters such as Back to the Future, Jaws, and Star Wars. I often am walking by the film class and I'll stop in because those are some of my favorite movies. So if film is something that you're interested in, studying not only how film is made, but the impact of film, films of the past on today, this would be a great elective for you to take. And then we continue offering electives, some that are available only to upperclassmen, such as journalism in the 21st century, creative writing, and we have a humanities elective that looks at the intersection of, literature and art and history and language. We have many extracurricular activities in the English department, including an award-winning literary magazine, Forum. We also have a student newspaper, the Eaglet, and we have our poetry club as well. And those are open to all students regardless of grade. And then the one extracurricular for upperclassmen is we do have a National English Honor Society for students that have excelled in both their English courses and in, service. All right, so I'm going to skip now to social studies, and you're going to see that there is a good deal of similarity, particularly for 9th grade. The 9th grade courses in social studies are Global 9, so it's world history, or Global 9 honors. And both of these courses reflect changes that have happened in social studies over the last, 5 to 8 years, with an emphasis on the application of historical thinking skills rather than on the recall of specific content. We'll get to in a moment, my next slide will talk about admittance to 9 honors. I do want parents to be aware that most students that take Global 9 honors go on to take an AP World History course in 10th grade. Once again, not every 9 honor student opts to take the AP course in 10th grade, and there are Regents Global 9 students that may opt into that AP course as a 10th grader, even if they weren't in honors in 9th grade. Okay. The social studies honors process is identical to the English honors process. So again, those students that have a quarter 1 and quarter 2 average of 95 to 100 automatically will have Global 9 honors added to their schedule. And students that have an average of between 92 and 94.9, there is the assessment that is required. I have the date for that assessment, Wednesday, April 28th. Once again, parents and students, you'll be receiving an email invitation from me. Be on the lookout for it. And again, please feel free to contact me with questions about this process. And specifically, if you don't hear from me and you know that based on your students' grades that you should have. So students, for now, if they're taking the assessment, either for English or social studies, will be scheduled in the regular Regents course. If they're then admitted into honors, the schedule will be changed at that point. Okay, our 10th through 12th grade program, we offer in 10th grade, Global 10 and AP World History. For 11th grade, US History and Government, or AP US History. And then in 12th grade, Government and Economics, or AP US Government and Politics. And in social studies, there are 2 Regents exams, one at the end of 10th grade and one at the end of 11th grade. Electives open to freshmen. We offer a philosophy course, which, students learn. I always say this is a great class if you love to be able to make really great arguments. And it's a really good class for strengthening both written and verbal communication skills. And for upperclassmen, we continue to offer philosophy, we offer sociology, and we offer AP European History as an elective. And we have a brand new elective that's being offered to 10th through 12th graders for the first time this fall, civic research, where students conduct an independent research, a year-long research project around a civic issue in our community. Extracurricular activities, we have Human Rights Club, Model Congress, and a debate club, and those are all open to all students. And we have the ROCAP, we have a chapter of the ROCAP and National Social Studies Honor Society, again, for students that excel in social studies and also have made contributions to the community. And now I'd like to introduce Ms. Karina Barrera to talk about world language.
Thank you, Susan, and good evening to everyone joining us. Again, my name is Karina Barrera, and I am the Eastchester High School chairperson for World Languages. And this evening, I would like to take you through what our language program looks like here at the high school level and give you an overview of the progression of our courses. So the Eastchester World Languages Department offers students opportunities to become confident and competent participants in today's global society. In our language program, students both develop and strengthen reading, writing, listening, speaking skills, while gaining knowledge and understanding of other cultures, connecting with other disciplines, and participating in multilingual communities at home and around the world. We follow the ACTFL World Readiness Standards for Learning Languages, which is comprised of the 5 C's, which are communication, cultures, connections, comparisons, and communities. And we're closely following the proposed revisions submitted to the New York State Board of Regents for the New York State Learning Standards for languages other than English to bring them to the 21st century. So based on the New York State Association of Foreign Language Teachers, students who learn another language score statistically higher on standardized tests conducted in English. They acquire a deeper understanding of their own culture as they explore the culture of other countries. They are poised speakers in front of small or large groups. They demonstrate better complex problem solving, exhibit accelerated cognitive brain development in areas such as mental flexibility, creativity, divergent thinking, and higher order thinking skills. They display enhanced memory, listening, and reading skills, and they have opportunities for a greater number of career choices. Here at Eastchester High School, we offer French, Italian, Spanish, and Latin courses. So we'll take a look at our French program first. So after a successful completion of coursework, students that are currently enrolled in French in the middle school have the opportunity to begin their freshman year with French 2 in the high school. This course reintroduces, reinforces, and further develops language skills that were introduced in the middle school and expands proficiency skills in speaking, listening, reading, and writing. Focus is also made on cultural selections from the Francophone world. Students typically take French 2 in 9th grade, French 3 in 10th grade, French 4 in 11th, and French 5 or AP in their senior year. And after completing a 3-year sequence of French, the first sequence being in the middle school, they will have completed their language requirement for the Advanced Regents Diploma. We'll take a look at our Italian courses next. So after, again, a successful completion of coursework, students that are currently enrolled in Italian in middle school have the opportunity to begin their freshman year with Italian 2 in the high school. And just like the French level 2 course, Italian 2 further develops language acquisition and reinforces, and expands communication as the student's proficiency increases. There is a continuation of the study of grammatical structures and vocabulary, and short reading passages dealing with different aspects of contemporary Italian culture. Students typically take Italian 2 in 9th grade, Italian 3 in 10th, Italian 4 in 11th, and Italian 5 AP in their senior year. And once again, after completing a 3-year sequence of Italian, students will have completed their language requirement for the Advanced Regents Diploma. Please note that Italian 1 is only offered based on student enrollment, and when offered, it is an introductory course. So if a student has not yet taken a language in middle school, or would like to add an Italian course as a second world language, this would be the course for them. Next up, we have our Spanish courses. Students that have not yet taken a language in the middle school would typically be enrolled in Spanish 1. This course is also for students who take up Spanish at any given time as a second language of study. Spanish 1 is an introductory course and aims for proficiency in the 4 language skills, again, speaking, listening, reading, and writing, through the use of diverse, authentic materials that reflect the contemporary Spanish-speaking world. Most students will begin 9th grade in Spanish 2, which again reviews and continues to develop those skills learned in middle school and continues to focus on proficiency and communication. All the level 2 courses in our language program are extremely important in building a solid foundation for the upper levels, which is our goal to get our students to reach. Students typically take Spanish 2 in 9th grade, Spanish 3 in 10th, Spanish 4 in 11th, and Spanish 5 AP in their senior year, or they may begin with Spanish 1 at any given time. And again, after completing the 3-year sequence in Spanish, students will have satisfied their language requirements for the Advanced Regents Diploma. We'll take a look at our Latin courses next. And Latin is an elective course, so it is a course that can be taken in addition to taking another language, if space in a student's schedule allows. We offer Latin 1 and Latin 2, and they are each a 1-credit, 1-year course. So why take Latin? Well, Latin will improve your ability to communicate in both Latin and in English, and to understand the ancient Roman culture. Latin is the best preparation for learning another language, such as Italian, French, or Spanish. Once students understand how Latin works, the task of learning another language will be more than cut in half. And research has shown that students who have learned Latin will be better students in all their other subjects and will perform better on SAT exams. So we'll take a brief look at our Latin courses. Latin 1 is typically taken in 9th grade and Latin 2 in 10th. Again, since these are elective, students can also begin their Latin courses in their other years at EHS. Latin 1 is an introduction of the basics of Latin grammar and vocabulary, as well as simple sentence structure patterns. Students will be able to read, translate, and write simple Latin sentences. And there is cultural awareness of the Greco-Roman civilizations in the areas of daily life, myths and legends, history and public life, architecture, art, and literature. And Latin 2 expands on the level 1 coursework and further looks into the foundations of the great ideas of the Western civilization. Lastly, we'll take a look at the extracurricular activities that are affiliated with our language program. We offer clubs and national honor societies in French, Italian, and Spanish, and each offers an array of fun and interesting activities which lead students to a greater understanding, love, and appreciation of other cultures. Students are encouraged to join clubs in their freshman year, as it is a requirement for induction to the honor societies, which happens typically in 10th grade. When able to, we've had the opportunity to travel abroad to Italy, Spain, France, and Costa Rica. But again, that is dependent on the year and on the current situation. So that wraps it up for the world's language programs. Thank you once again for joining us this evening. And up next, we have Jared Blair, K-12 Supervisor of STEM, Science, and Math.
Thank you, Karina. Nice to have everyone here and welcome. So tonight I'll be speaking to you about our math and science offerings. So I'll start off with math, and you'll see that we have Algebra 1. So in the high school, if you took grade 8 math as a middle school student, you will take Algebra 1 as a 9th grader. And Algebra 1 will be your first Regents mathematics course in your sequence. And you will be taking the Regents Common Core Algebra 1 exam at the conclusion of the year. For some students, we have Algebra 1A as a step towards working on algebraic skills over 2 years. So Algebra 1A would be taken in 9th grade, and there would be no Regents exam at the conclusion of Algebra 1A. And then afterwards, in 10th grade, you would take Algebra 1B, which then at the end of that, you would take the New York State Regents exam. For those students who took algebra in 8th grade at the middle school, some of you will take geometry. Geometry would be your next Regents course in the mathematics sequence. And with geometry, as with algebra, you will be taking the Common Core Regents exam in geometry at the end of the year. There's also geometry honors. This is for students who are strong in mathematics and have demonstrated that strength by earning a 90 or higher in Algebra 1. The honors curriculum goes deeper into studies regarding geometry and will prepare students as we move forward in more honors mathematics as well as AP mathematics. We have an elective open to our 9th grade students, and that's an introduction to computer science. Computer science is a half-year course where you'll be learning the basics of programming with Java. The course starts at the very beginning in terms of the introduction to computer science language. So if you've never had any experience with computer science before, this is your course. You'll be able to start right from the beginning and gain a proficiency as you move along. As you can see, our course offerings in grades 10 through 12 include a continuation of the sequence in mathematics. If you take algebra in 9th grade, you may move on to either principles of geometry or the Regents geometry as we discussed before. Those students then typically take an intermediate algebra course, which is similar to our Algebra 2. It just does not have a Regents exam at the end. Algebra 2 is our sequential mathematics third course in the sequence. So it would be a Regents-based course. And again, that has an honors course paired with it, which will also have some similar requirements. Similar to what Ms. Chester said at the beginning of the presentation, for those students looking to get into honors courses in mathematics, you do not have to be in honors for every course. You can enter the honors pathway at any point throughout your experience at Eastchester High School. You'll see that we ultimately end with either pre-calculus or calculus, and we do have some AP offerings. There are other electives open to students in grades 10 through 12 that you may look forward to. If you took that Intro to Computer Science course, we have AP Computer Science Principles and also AP Computer Science A. So it would just be a continuation of learning the computer programming languages and developing apps and computer programs We also offer AP Statistics, as well as an Analytics and Sports course for mathematics. Moving on to science, if you are taking 8th grade science right now, then your science that you'll take in grade 9 would be Earth Science. This is a Regents science course. It does have a required 1,200-minute laboratory requirement that must be satisfied throughout the course. We do offer a lab every other day attached to all of our Regents science courses. So you have plenty of time to achieve that 1,200-minute lab work requirement. If you are taking Earth Science already in 8th grade, then you will move on to biology, which is also called living environment. The prerequisite would have to be Earth Science. And again, this is also a Regents science course, again, with a 1,200-minute laboratory requirement, which you would be already familiar with as a result of your participation in Regents Earth Science. For those students earning a 90 or higher in Earth Science in either 8th grade or when you take it in 9th grade, you would be eligible to take Biology Living Environment Honors. This course, again, is going to go more in depth in biology and beyond the Regents level curriculum. Students are also encouraged to take the SAT subject test in biology at the end or conclusion of this course. This is also a preparatory experience for possible advanced placement biology or AP biology in the future. For students who are very interested in the environmental sciences at the end of 8th grade and have earned a 90 or higher in Algebra 1, English, and Earth Science combined, you may be invited to take AP Environmental Science. So this is a college level environmental science course. Again, it will be offered in 9th grade if you have the 90 or higher in Regents Algebra 1, English, and Regents Earth Science. The teachers for this course strongly encourage you to take what you love. You see that in our second bullet point. You have to really be interested in environmental science for this to be a worthwhile experience because of its rigor and its college level approach to the sciences. If environmental science is not really your forte, or it's something you're not as interested in, but you still would like the honors level science, the teachers do encourage you to take biology honors. The science elective that is open to our 9th grade students would be environmental science. So this will be a non-AP course, and it is 1 semester long. And we look at how humans affect the earth. This course is also open to our upperclassmen, so you don't have to be in 9th grade to take it, but it is the first time you would be eligible to take it. Just to give you a quick overview of our other science courses as you become an upperclassman, typically after biology, you're going to take chemistry. We do have a chemistry honors possibility. Then we typically have students go into physics. The difference between conceptual chemistry and then our chemistry or our conceptual physics and our physics is that the courses that are not conceptual are Regents-based and would end with a Regents exam. Those Regents courses, as a reminder, would also have the 1,200-minute laboratory requirement, and as a result would have the lab attached to the course every other day. We then also offer AP Chemistry, AP Biology, a college physics, which would offer college credit through WCC. We also offer an introduction to psychology, and then also AP Psychology for those students interested. We also offer a college physical geology course through SUNY Oneonta, which would again give you college credit for successful completion. And then we have numerous electives open to our grades 10 through 12. That 10th grade year would be the first year that you would be eligible to take the Advanced Science Research Program or participate in that. And that would be a course that you would take in your schedule to prepare yourself for your research and ultimately your presentations and defense of that research to the public. Again, I listed psychology and AP Psychology twice here. We also have forensic science, ethics in science, as well as astronomy. So at this point, I'm going to turn the presentation over to Mr. Mark Dodge, and he will be presenting to you about the Eastchester High School Music Department.
Thank you, Mr. Blair, and welcome everyone. Good evening. And again, my name is Mark Dodge and I'm the music department chair, and I'll be talking about all of the course offerings that we have available to music students in Eastchester. So the performing ensembles that we have at Eastchester High School, Symphonic Band, that's what the 9th graders will take first. And then concert band is for the upperclassmen, which we'll talk about in a little bit. String orchestra, mixed choir, which is the choir for the 9th grade. And then concert choir, much like concert band, is for the upperclassmen. So symphonic band, you can read the slides, of course, but one of the main differences between band in middle school and band in high school is that we are out in the community in a way that you haven't been. The fall especially is incredibly busy for us. We're playing at all the home football games. We're marching in the Columbus Day Parade. We often play as part of the Eastchester 5K race. And there are other events that happen in the fall where I'm asked to provide music for example, holiday parties, things like that. But we're really out in the community and in the public in a way that we haven't been yet. As you can see from the slide, much like middle school, we play 2 concerts per year at school, and the parades and the football games, as I said. Concert band is for grades 10 through 12, but because our program, our department is programmatic in nature, it's important to understand that we really want to promote students to remain in the program all 4 years of high school. That way they will reap the full benefits of the program. Certain things happen annually, like the concerts, parades, football games, but some things are cyclical in nature. For example, certain trips that we take don't happen every year. So we really try to engender that community within the band program, even though the 9th graders are separate for their first year of band. String orchestra. String orchestra is open to grades 9 through 12. And students who performed in orchestra in middle school are encouraged to continue their studies in orchestra. Thank you. Mixed choir is the 9th grade choir. It is a full year. And this is a good transition between 8th grade into 9th grade, and then that transition into the upper class concert choir. Much like symphonic band, it's a year of learning new repertoire and learning new techniques, instrumental and vocal techniques. And the choir is also out in the public in a way that the middle school has not been. And similarly, concert choir, similarly to concert band, concert choir is grades 10 through 12, and it is a full year course, just like the band program. And when we perform, whether it be concerts or other events or trips, etc., the grades are combined, both symphonic band, concert bands, mixed choir, concert choir, everything is combined. Again, we're trying to promote and engender that long-term focus from our music students. Electives. For students who are interested in music but don't necessarily have performing experience or are not performers, these 2 classes might be for you. Songwriting. Songwriting is open to grades 9 through 12. And it is, as you can see, it's a 1-credit full year course. This is a really fascinating class. It's relatively new in the past few years. And you're learning the basics of songwriting. You're analyzing trends in popular music. You're learning a bit of basic music theory. You're learning how to use GarageBand. And ultimately, the final product will be creating your own song. But in the process, you are discovering many useful techniques about songwriting, and as I said, analyzing current trends in popular music. Music theory. Music theory is typically open to grades 10 through 12. However, that's not exclusive. If you are, again, a non-performer but interested in music, music theory might be a great class for you to take. If we had to put these in order, I would suggest the songwriting class first and then take music theory, but not necessarily. Music theory gets into the real nuts and bolts of what makes music music. Everything from learning about just basic note writing, note values, analyzing form, ear training, and these things are particularly useful if you are in band or orchestra or chorus. We have many students who take this music theory class who are in the performing groups, and it enhances that experience for them. Extracurricular groups that we have in high school. Jazz band. Jazz band, we rehearse once a week, and much like the concert band or the band and choir groups, we are out in the public a lot. We play at many events. As you can see, Relay for Life. We play at the EHS Fashion Show. We also do 2 concerts per year. We have a really long-standing trip to the city in December to play at the MetLife building for their holiday concert series. That didn't happen this year, but hopefully that will be back next year. And anybody interested in jazz band just needs to talk to me. There are certain requirements, but feel free to email me about that. And full orchestra, that's also a once a week after school group. Both jazz band and full orchestra, actually, it's potentially open to middle school and high school students, depending. But full orchestra also performs a lot out in public, just like the jazz band and the concert band and choirs do. And it is, both of these extracurricular groups are a great way to further enhance your musical experience at EHS. And finally, our music society. The Tri-M Music Honor Society is an honor society for those serious music students who wish to strengthen the bonds between other serious like-minded music students and have an impact in the community, both the community, school community, and the community at large. Tri-M students are always out performing at nursing homes, for example, or doing some kind of fundraising event, helping out around the community, and helping out within the school community, doing lots of fun events. And at this time, I would like to turn things over to our art department and Miss Rachel Sidlowski. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thanks for joining us tonight. And I'm Rachel Sidlowski. I'm the chair of the art department. We have a really wonderful website. So if you, I just put it up here in case you want to take a look at it. We have a lot of information, and I'll be going over some things, but you can look more in depth into our department from our website. So for next year, often what many 8th graders, if not all, almost all 8th graders going into 9th grade often take studio art. So as a 9th grader, you're going to take studio art. And what this is like the most important thing to really know about studio art is that it's the gateway to all of our other electives. And we have a lot of electives. So this is a prerequisite to every other course that we have within the department. And I think taking studio art early really puts you in the best position to access all the richness and vibrancy that we provide with all of our electives. Something else that's really important to know is that studio art fulfills your graduation requirement for 1 credit in art or music. And I know Mr. Dodge didn't mention this, but there's often a rumor that goes around like if you take music, you can't take art. And that's simply not true. If you study music, we do encourage you to continue doing that, and also perhaps to find space in your schedule for art. It is possible. So the studio art curriculum covers a broad range of techniques. It's like a little bit of everything, so it really hits a variety of interests for all students. Drawing, painting, printmaking, sculpture, a little bit of theory, critical analysis, a little bit of art history. So this is a full year course. It meets every day, which is very different from 8th grade. So that's something you should absolutely know. And now I just want to talk to you a little bit about electives, which come after studio art. So as you can see, we have a lot. We offer a lot. And I think that's just so wonderful and fantastic that we're able to offer you all of these things. Many of these electives you would only be able to access usually in high schools. Many don't offer them. Maybe this is something, some of these courses would be something you'd only get once you get to college. So I want to talk to you just briefly about a variety of the electives, just give you like a brief overview what you can go on to do past studio art. We have chosen to maintain our darkroom. So we have darkroom photography 1 and 2. You have to take 1 before you take 2. And your parents may remember this, or maybe they're too young. It's not digital photography, but it's darkroom photography, where you use a single reflex lens camera, and it's analog. So you develop your own film and then develop images from that film. And we have a really beautiful Mac lab. So this year we were able to start offering digital imaging. So this is an introductory course for Photoshop, and it really shows you the fundamentals of Photoshop, but also how contemporary artists use digital media, and how you can start to think about using digital media in your own artwork. So it's a really great tool for any artist. And I think it's a great foundational course, regardless of what other courses you take. It's like a really wonderful thing to add on to other courses: drawing, painting, printmaking, you name it. Drawing and painting is a full year course. And this is building upon fundamental skills for two-dimensional art. And this is something that often students take when they want to go into drawing or the two-dimensional AP portfolio course. Graphic design 1 and 2. These 2 courses, I know it's a little bit misleading because it says 1 and 2, but you don't have to take 1 before you take 2. Graphic design 1 deals more with typography, and graphic design 2 deals a little bit more with printmaking. Now, both of these courses are starting to integrate digital media. Here in the slide, you see students preparing a screen for screen printing. We also do linoleum cut. So we offer a lot of things that are really specialized, and you may not get at other high schools. Film and video production is another really wonderful elective that you can take after studio art, where students conceptualize and produce short films. Global crafts 1 and 2, like graphic design, you don't have to take 1 before you take 2. These are both half-year courses, where students can explore a wide variety of approaches to art making, and really understanding more about world cultures. So sculpture is also a half-year course, and it covers a wide range of materials. This is for students who like to work 3-dimensionally. And it covers a variety of materials like plaster, paper, cardboard, clay, wood, like you name it, we sort of cover it. And in this way, you're able to work with a variety of techniques and materials. So 3D design is also a half-year course. Similarly to sculpture, you're working in the round, but emphasis is placed on planning and execution of designs using materials like paper, foam core, cardboard. And these things really have commercial applications like building models or making like 3-dimensional forms for fashion. So metals 1 and 2 is very specialized. I think we're probably the only school in Westchester that is able to offer metalsmithing. This is something very unique to Eastchester. These are half-year courses. You do need to take metals 1 before you take metals 2. So metals 1 is foundational, and you learn the basics of metalsmithing, including sawing and piercing, drilling, filing, soldering, and polishing. So after you take metals 1, and if you'd like to continue on to metals 2, metals 2 really expands upon those foundational skills, but you start actually designing your own jewelry. So here in the slide, you can see an image where a student was able to design and build their own concept. This is really unique. There are really very few schools in the country who really excel in this discipline. We've won a lot of awards as well. We're very proud of it. So advanced art is part of our fine arts sequence, which starts with studio art and then goes to drawing and painting and then advanced art. And then oftentimes students continue on to AP art. So in advanced art, students really start to develop their personal voice in preparation for perhaps AP and building, sort of like guiding their artistic growth by acquiring and refining techniques with a wide variety of media, but also beginning to think conceptually and really thinking about developing their personal voice and thinking at a higher level. Our capstone program is Advanced Placement Studio Art. So in Advanced Placement Studio Art, you are able to choose a variety of exams. So there are 3 different exams. There's drawing, 2D, or 3D. Now, the requirements have changed a little bit over the years. So currently students they submit their portfolio to the College Board, and it's changed. So now it's 15 artworks, and all of these artworks fall under a conceptual thesis. So at the end of the year, or around this time, around the beginning of May, students will submit to the College Board. Portfolio prep follows similarly. They have fewer requirements, and they don't submit to the College Board. And then finally, we have our clubs and honor societies. We offer Photo Club, art, which is offered through 9 through 12, Art Club, which is also 9 through 12, and Art Honor Society, where students apply in the spring semester of their 10th grade year. Thanks so much. And I'm going to hand it off to Lauren Stipo from the Business Education Department.
Thanks. Good evening, parents and students. I'm Lauren Stipo, and I'm a teacher in the Business Education Department. And we're really excited that we offer so many different business electives here at Eastchester High School. A lot of times students aren't able to take business until they go to college. And so the students at Eastchester High School have an opportunity to take business courses in different areas and to see if they have an interest in business, and if so, in what area of business, so that they can pursue it later on in college. So, like I said, we have a lot of classes, but I want to focus on the 3 classes that are open to the 9th grade. They're all half-year classes. The first one falls in the business department, but this is a course that is relevant for every student in the high school. It's career and financial management. And it covers everything students need to know about having a career, finding a job, and then how to manage their money after they get that job. So we start out doing skills assessments, and students research different careers to figure out what might be a good match for them. We create a resume, they write a cover letter, they write a thank you letter, they learn how to answer interview questions, what to do when you go on an interview. So everything they need to know to get them ready for that process, filling out a job application. And then the second half of the course is about money, managing their money. How do they keep a checking account? What do they do with a debit card? How do they pay back their student loans? What is that going to look like when they're done? How to avoid credit card debt and to know what their credit score is and how important that is. We fill out easy tax returns with them. And at the end, they do a culminating project. It's a personal budget, and we give them a salary for the year, a very realistic salary, and they have to figure out on their salary how to buy groceries, how to buy a car, how to pay car insurance, how to pay rent, and they have to research all of that themselves. So it really is a course that every student can benefit from. And they can take that anytime from 9th to 12th grade. The second course we offer to freshmen is Microsoft Office applications. So we know that students in high school are using Google Docs, but when you go to college and when you start working, they use Microsoft Office. And there are some differences between Google Docs and Microsoft Office. So in this class, they learn Outlook, which is the email application. They learn Excel, which is the spreadsheet application. And most employers now require that employees know Excel. That we do word processing, PowerPoint, how to do a correct presentation in PowerPoint, Access, which is their database application, and Publisher, which is their publication design. So this course will help you to be proficient in all of those different applications. The third course we offer to freshmen is Introduction to Business. Again, this is 1 semester, and everyone's going to be touched by business somehow. You're either going to work for a business or you're going to own a business. So it doesn't really matter what you do, somehow you're going to be involved in business. So this course touches on all the key areas of business: marketing, how business affects the economy, types of business ownership, entrepreneurship, finance, human resources, operations, and we do it in, most of it is group work, and we do it in a very high level way so that they can get a feel for what each of these areas of business do. And then we offer courses in most of these that they can take if they're really interested in it. So these are all of the other electives that we offer in the business department. We offer 4 classes for SUNY College credit. That's financial accounting, business law, marketing, and entrepreneurship. We offer the 3 courses that I just told you: career and financial management, Microsoft Office, and Introduction to Business. And we also offer Accounting 1, and we offer a relatively new class, Investing in Finance, for students that are interested in investing in the stock market and learning about stocks, bonds, mutual funds. We have a new club this year, Future Business Leaders of America. And Future Business Leaders of America is an international organization, and it's for students in all disciplines. They have over 70 competitions in technology, leadership, business, public speaking, and social sciences. So it's not just for business students, and they compete at a regional, state, and national level. And next year's national competition will be held in Chicago. And then we have Investing in Finance, where the students compete in the stock market game. And at the same time, they learn how to understand stocks, bonds, and mutual funds. And they have many guest speakers to discuss with the kids how to invest. We have a Business Honor Society for those students that have an interest in business and have completed at least 3 credits in any of the business courses. And they maintain an 85 or higher average and demonstrate excellent character and participate in all the Business Honor Society activities. So that's the business department. And now I'd like to introduce the Director of Athletics, Tom Lehman.
Thank you very much. Just want to start. I've met some of you at our athletic events or through other presentations, so thanks for joining. Just want to highlight some of our program important parts. We'll start with physical education. Physical education is a required course for all of our students, but we do offer a variety of activities that we want to make sure that all students, whether they enjoy team sports or just lifetime activities, have an opportunity to excel in phys ed. One thing that's different than the middle school phys ed program is our strength and conditioning program and our state-of-the-art fitness center. Those classes there are designed to enhance physical condition, go over some circuit training activities, as well as help students set goals for themselves, whether they're in school over the summer. But really our main focus of our phys ed program is to make sure that when students leave high school, they are able to live a healthy and active lifestyle and walk into any fitness center there may be and be comfortable using the equipment. So that's really the highlight of our phys ed program. The next slide we have is about our health program. Now, health is typically offered for 10th graders, but sometimes freshmen will take a health class. It really is an extension of what we're doing in 6th, 7th, and 8th grade, is really building on the skill development of decision-making, goal setting, interpersonal communication, and self-advocacy. These really components drive the curriculum. And yes, content and topics are very important, but through all of the content, our really focuses on the skill development, which will help people and help our young students in life. And if they're put into a situation, hopefully decision-making skills and some of the information that they're learning in our health ed curriculum shine through. And topics will vary based on student needs and interests. For example, obviously during the time of COVID right now, our teachers have really focused on really kind of overcoming some obstacles and overcoming, some of the difficulties that COVID has brought. So we are flexible with our health curriculum, but really, like I said, skill-based. I wanted to highlight our athletics page. So this page here, if you go to our district website, it has a lot of the information. So forms and information has our athletic handbook. It has some medical forms that you may need. All really the information's there. The athletic handbook was redone over the summer. So it has all the information there, and it's more than just handbook. It was designed to help student athletes and parents be successful when they're participating in our athletic program. Athletic offerings, you could find season by season breakdowns, including coaches' contact information, our sports registration. We have the family ID, how to really get registered for sports. That opens up usually 30 days prior to the season. I've received a lot of emails about modified sports for the spring. That email will be sent out tomorrow to parents, and registration for the spring sports at the middle school will start on Friday, and for the high school level will start tomorrow afternoon. Policies and procedures are really the COVID spectator policies, everything that we've put into place for this year. And the calendar is actually our game schedules. So for some reason on the background of this website, it still says calendar, but that's our game schedule app. It's a really innovative app. You could download it and get updates for any teams that you want to subscribe to. Some of the other things I just want to highlight on the webpage is the fall 2 season updates. That will be changing to the spring update. So anything that I send out via email and school messenger will be put on the website. Just sometimes people miss it through emails. So that'll be up there. So my suggestion is just to check this website on a regular basis for all information you may need. And you could really find everything that you're looking for. If not, you could always reach out to us. So I think really any successful program that you want to build from the ground up, so that starts in middle school and modified sports, but all the way up, you want to create cohesion through the entire program. And some of the big, the big topics and the big overviews that's really important for me as an athletic director, but in talking with our coaching staff and talking with a lot of our student athletes, there's some themes that shine through. Athletics here at Eastchester, it's interscholastic athletics. It's an extension of the classroom. So what we could do, a really high successful athletic program in a public high school setting, is to make sure that our students are leaving us with real world skills. And that is the character development, the high expectations, the respect, and the sportsmanship. That goes hand in hand with a successful program. Some of the ways that we get there is through relationships, trust, and communication. Our students have to be able to trust, one, their teammates, but two, their coaches, and have that open line of communication. And that's something that I'm working with our coaching staffs and our students with. It's all about the process and the preparation. It's really about player development, focusing on what we can control and not necessarily outcome. We have to be outcome aware, but really purpose and process driven. And it's all about the commitment to the team. Responsible on and off the playing surface. That means in the classroom, in the community, in the school building. We want to make sure that we are proud of our student athletes, and our student athletes are being held to a high standard. And when you're on the team, embrace your role and be a great teammate. Okay, so when you get to the high school level and in the middle school, we try to get everybody playing time. It might not be equal playing time, but we try to get everybody in games. As we move through the levels on the junior varsity program, coaches still are focusing obviously on player development, but playing time varies based on ability levels, commitment levels, and whatnot. And as we go up to the varsity level, it's definitely where we're trying, our main goal there is player development, but we're also trying to win and put our best players on the field or court. And that's based on, skill, but also the commitment to the team and making sure they're working hard in practice. So all of these things together are means to create a successful program, not just because we have talent for 1 year or 2 years, but because we have talent throughout and really are developing that. And the next thing I wanted to highlight some of the differences between a middle school program and the high school program. We actually just received an award, and we have an athletic trainer named Pat Kilcar, who's worked with some of our middle school students, but really primarily works with our high school students. And we just received a National Athletic Trainers Association Safe Sports School Award. There's only 6 schools in Section 1 that received that award, and there's only about 24 schools all in New York that have gotten that status. And really that is a testament to our athletic trainer, our strength and conditioning coach, Shane O'Connor, and it really highlights the preventative and proactive nature of injury prevention and how we care for student athletes. One thing that you'll see is the certified strength and conditioning coach. So students will have the opportunity to participate in fitness and throughout physical education curriculum, but also after school. So we have Coach O'Connor is here for all of our seasons. He's in the weight room every single day from 3 p.m. till about 6:30 at night. He's developing programs that are geared specific, sport specific, to help our students be successful, help our students prevent injuries, and also recover from any injuries or soreness. So you could see, if you're looking at the picture and wondering how come the young ladies on the right side do not have masks, that's an older picture. So that is why they do not have masks on, but you can see our young men are working out on a daily basis with that. So what does high school sports offer that it's a little different than modified sports? Additional off-season training opportunities. A lot of our coaches are providing off-season training throughout the school year to make sure that everybody is ready to participate when their season comes. Increased practice and game schedules. On the middle school level, you'll play 10 to 12 games. On the high school level, usually it's 15 to 20. Obviously, we have playoffs at the varsity level and state championships. One thing that we have at the high school level that's, I've been to a bunch of different places, and we have a very well-developed student athletic council. That student athletic council really helps the athletic department run different events, community service initiatives, and it really is a great means for our student body to communicate with myself and the coaching staff to see what's going on. So I highly suggest if you're an 8th grader and interested in kind of enhancing our athletic program, that is something definitely you can look forward to and get involved in. And one thing, if you have taken part in my middle school parent meeting that we had for the winter sports or even for the track, one thing that we want to create is a competitive advantage in everything we do. And parents as partners is one way we achieve that. So one thing I always like to say is give your child control and ownership of their athletic experience. Allow them to be coached. It's important for our young student athletes to be advocates for themselves and we have that relationship with the coaching staff. And that's how we'll see that experience really come to light. Motivate your child to strive for greatness, winning attitude, believe in themselves constantly, affirmation and building that confidence is really important. Demonstrating high levels of sportsmanship and respect at all times, and understanding that mistakes are happen. And this is not a professional sports team. I think sometimes as parents, and I am a parent of two younger children, but they play sports. And sometimes, I feel like we watch it and we think they should be professional athletes out there. And that's not the case. They are high school athletes. They're learning the games. They're learning. And the only way to learn is by making mistakes. And that's something that should be noted. And last but not least, sports should be fun. If the things that we're doing out on the field are not fun, then that's probably not something that you as a student athlete should be doing. So it should be a great atmosphere, a lot of fun to be part of. And like Dr. Capuano said in the beginning, doesn't mean you have to be part of every single team, but you shouldn't get involved. If you like athletics and you want to try different sports, middle school is the time to try it out. And when you come to the high school level, give it a shot. One thing I would always say to student athletes or students that want to participate, the worst that happens is you don't make a team. You'll move on from that. But knowing that you tried and gave it the full effort is what really is important about that. And now I will turn it over to Dr. Bott, who is one of our assistant principals at the high school. Thank you.
Good evening, parents and students. Thank you for attending virtually. I would like to talk to you about what makes Eastchester High School students so incredibly special. And that has to do with our vibrant and robust offerings of our clubs. And to talk to you, just so you have a few minutes to kind of see the variety of clubs we offer, what makes our clubs most special are that they give students a vehicle to make connections with others, both faculty members and their peers. They offer opportunities for enrichment outside of the classroom and beyond our curriculum. They give students potential to express themselves in a very creative and healthy fashion. And the most important thing of all is our focus and our spotlight on community service and outreach. All of these factors create a very positive impact on our students, our whole school, and our community at large. So next, I'd like to talk to you, while there's a plethora of reasons of why students should join a club when they come to the high school, I'll talk to you about 8 specific benefits. So the first one, you are developing a more well-rounded self. So you're gaining exposure and developing an expertise. You're discovering what you are curious and passionate about. And for our students, that reinforces the nature, the concept of being a lifelong learner outside the classroom. So a second important benefit would be to develop interpersonal skills. And what that means is students that join clubs are building positive relationships and friendships with both mentors, so club advisors, faculty members, and their peers. Number 3, the concept that teamwork makes the dream work, right? So clubs reinforce the philosophy that much more can be done and accomplished as a collective whole rather than as individuals. Number 4, students that participate in clubs build self-confidence and enhance leadership skills. So these are 2 universal qualities that will serve anyone well in life. Number 5, students that join clubs naturally learn how to improve their time management skills. And it's almost counterintuitive because the busier you are and the more engaged that you are in activities in and out of the classroom, it naturally challenges students to find a balance to accomplish all of their goals. Number 6, clubs are a stress buster. So they're basically enjoyable activities that enhance our students' lives and promote their overall wellness. Number 7, it gives students an opportunity to expand their resume. So, I know you guys are just figuring what it's like to transition to high school, but looking ahead and thinking about, college readiness, colleges are looking for more than just great grades, right? So that being said, you want to focus on quality and not quantity. It's better to have thoughtful and meaningful participation in a few clubs as opposed to having a superficial membership in many clubs. And last but not least, it's fun, right? So you're going to have a tremendous amount of fun in joining clubs. So on to the flip side, not to scare anyone, but there are some downsides if you choose not to participate, and not necessarily as would happen to any one of our students. However, there's a significant body of research that shows that when students do not participate in any sort of extracurricular activities in their school, they potentially have more time on their hands to get involved in negative activities, such as dabbling with drugs and alcohol, maybe. They might get poorer grades and have worse attendance. They might be more likely to have lower self-esteem and higher dropout rates, and less likely to live a healthier lifestyle overall. So that's certainly not an eagle. That's why, parents, it's really important to talk to your child and encourage your child to get involved in extracurricular activities at the high school. Please email me or have your child email me if they have any questions on how they can get involved at the high school. What they will learn in our clubs are priceless, and they can't be measured on a transcript or a test. So thank you for your time and your partnership this evening. And now I would like to introduce Ms. Riley, our school's guidance department chairperson. Thank you.
Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. On behalf of all of the high school counselors, I want to let you know that we're really looking forward to having the opportunity to get to know you over the next few weeks and months as we work together to help you to have a successful start to high school. I'll take a few minutes tonight first just to talk about some of the wonderful work that the high school counselors do with students over the 4 years, and then I'll speak about our course selection process and timeline. Trying to define a school counselor's role very quickly in just one slide is nearly impossible. You know, we always like to say that your counselor is your #1 resource in high school. We really get to build a wonderful relationship with our students. The counselors do stay with the same group of students through all 4 years in high school, and that gives us a chance to really get to know each other very well. And that relationship helps us not only to help the students to maximize their high school experience, but also then to identify and work toward goals for after high school. School counselors assist students in many ways. I tried to kind of narrow it down just to a few broad categories just for tonight, but in reality, the list would extend well beyond this, of course. Throughout the years, we're helping students to pick appropriately challenging courses every year. And then as the year progresses, helping them to monitor how they're doing in the courses, support them if they need any assistance in communicating with teachers or finding any type of tutoring opportunities. Graduation requirements we know can sound very confusing. We, of course, provide lots of information and charts and graphs, but you have our assurance all the time that we're constantly monitoring graduation requirements and helping students to work towards all of those goals. As I mentioned before, in our relationship of getting to know the students, we're helping them to identify different post-high school plans and take steps towards meeting those goals. But I would really say that social, personal aspect, the school-related concerns, is really at the heart of our daily work with students, getting to know them, helping them in the moment, anything that comes up from trying to find a new club to join, trying to find a tutor, lending a Chromebook when your battery dies, helping navigate friendships and seating in the cafeteria, whatever the case might be, your high school counselor is there to help you along the way. I'd like to take a look now at a chart that shows you all of the names of the high school counselors. So there are 6 high school counselors, and I'd just like to go over briefly how this is all organized. Now, in the middle school, you met Miss Mejia at the beginning of 6th grade, and she stayed with you through all 3 years of middle school. In the high school, it is done a little bit differently. It's broken down alphabetically. So as you can see on this chart, Miss Patain has the very start of the alphabet. The next group comes in for me, starting about the middle of letter C, going to G, and so on and so forth alphabetically. So you can take a look there and see alphabetically where you would fall in that chart. Now, again, I do want to say the counselors do stay with the students all 4 years of high school. It's just a slightly different method than what's used in assigning in the middle school. I will put this in Google Classroom tomorrow so that you will have access to the name of your child's counselor and phone number and email address and that information. Now, for the most part, this will be the counselor who you also work with in September, but we will send you an update in August, just so you know for sure. Through the whole remainder of the spring and the whole course selection process, this will be your go-to person for any help in picking classes and that sort of thing. But please do remember to keep in contact with Miss Mejia, because she continues to be your middle school counselor through the last day of school in middle school. So keep her in the loop with everything as well. Now let's take a couple of minutes to look over what a 9-period day would look like in the high school. I do want to point out it will not be in this order. I simply put it in this order as a model for tonight to review, but the classes could be in any other order when you do get your final schedule in August. So let's start with English. Students are required to take English all 4 years of high school. So every 9th grader will take English, either English 9 or 9 honors. Similarly with social studies, students will be taking social studies all 4 years of high school. So all 9th graders will take Global 9 or Global 9 honors. All 9th grade students will take math every day, and that could be algebra, algebra 1A, geometry, geometry honors, but everybody will take math. Similarly for science, every student will take science, though the title could vary, earth science, biology, biology honors, or APES, but everybody will take science. Now, in addition to the 40-minute science class every day, there is an additional 40-minute lab that meets every other day. And that generally rotates with the physical education class. And students do take physical education all 4 years of high school. Now, I know that that might sound confusing to a parent who's looking at it and says, well, how will they know which day do they have science or which day do they have physical education? But it actually rotates. And it's quite easy for the students to follow along. They fall into a good rhythm of it after just a couple of days. Now we start moving into an area where we have a little bit more choice in the schedule. Most students will take a world language in 9th grade. Many of the students are currently in level 1, and they will move on to level 2 for next year. Some students were not able to start a language in middle school for various reasons, and they will have the opportunity to select one for next year. Small handful of students might not take a language for various reasons, and please don't worry, we will go over that individually with you when you have a chance to meet with your counselor, which will be soon. Next, we talk about art or music. New York State does require that all students take at least 1 credit of art or music to graduate. So all 9th grade students will make a choice. And I know that you heard about all of our wonderful options earlier this evening, so I know it can seem challenging sometimes to make a decision with those classes. Lunch, of course. Every student will have lunch. Now in middle school, all of the 8th graders have lunch 6th period together this year. That is not the way it works in the high school. We have all mixed lunch periods. So you could be assigned to period 4, 5, 6, or 7. And that is something that you wouldn't know which lunch period you're assigned to until you get your final schedule in August. But I do want to assure you that those sometimes people worry about the mixed lunch periods. I do find after the fact that students actually enjoy it because there are mixed grade levels in clubs and activities and athletics and some of the electives. So you do end up finding that your friendships start expanding beyond your grade level when you're in high school. Now we will talk about the one remaining period of the day where we have some different options that we can go over. I'm going to try to make this as clear as possible. I know that it can sound a little confusing, but I want to assure you that the counselors will go over this portion with you again before you have to make any choices about your classes. Okay. Now, as it stands from the first 8 periods that I've already gone over, technically that could fill your whole day. You don't necessarily need to continue and select anything beyond that. We do have some really wonderful electives that students can choose to take if they would like to. So we have it here broken down into some different categories for you. So we do have half-year electives and full-year electives. A student would be welcome to select 2 half-year electives if they wanted to. That way they would have an elective course for the full year. In that case, we would ask you to pick a first choice and a second choice, just in case your first choice doesn't fit for any reason. Some students might want to take an elective for half of the year and a study hall for the other half of the year, and that is also completely fine. We have some full year elective options. So for students who excel in languages, they might continue in their current world language and add an additional language. And that's an option through all 4 years of high school. So if it's not a good fit for 9th grade, that's fine. You could do that in the future. Similarly with music and art, if you enjoy both, you are welcome to take art and music, which students generally try in the 9th grade, though honestly, you could do that in any year of high school if you wanted to add those in at any point. We also have the option of support periods or study halls. Now, study hall, just so you know, is not a free period. The students do have to go to an assigned room with a teacher and attendance is taken, and it can be a nice opportunity to get some work done and do some independent work or quiet work in groups. Support periods can be a really valuable way to help students have a positive academic start to high school. So my main point here is there's many different options, of course, but what you really want to do is take some time to think about the right fit for you. There's no right or wrong. Electives are available every year in high school. These offerings are all available any other year. So you really need to think about your time commitment, both academically and in extracurricular terms, and think about what's going to be the right fit. On the next two slides, I have just a very quick kind of overview of electives that are available throughout the years in high school, because I want to keep reassuring you that if you don't have the opportunity to take many or any electives in ninth grade, we have a much larger list that's available in the following year. So there'll be time to take a nice variety of classes as you go along. Now, on my last slide, I have some important upcoming dates with the remaining steps in the course selection process. This week on March 24th and 25th, so that's Wednesday and Thursday, the high school counselors will be going to the cafeteria during sixth period lunch to answer any questions that the students have. And we will make sure to also have a Google Meet available for any students who are remote, and we'll post that link in the Google Classroom. On Wednesday, March 24th, the course recommendations will be available in home access. On that same day, students who qualify for English and Social Studies honors assessments will also be notified by email. Then, of course, we have a break from school after that. And when we return on April 5th at 7 o'clock, we'll be having a course selection kickoff meeting at 7 o'clock. So that meeting will be with the individual counselors. So each of the 6 counselors will get in touch. We'll be sending out emails and information through Google Classroom to send you what we'll be covering that night and the link to the meet. We really wanted to be able to have a smaller, more interactive conversation. We know that this evening you received a lot of valuable information all at the same time, but going over some of those steps and answering questions and reviewing it all in a more interactive way, we thought would be valuable as well. So we'll be doing that on April 5th, and please make sure you look for more information that will be coming out. On April 7th and 14th, those are both Wednesdays, you will have the opportunity to have some private time to meet with your counselor to select your classes for next year. So what we will do is after that evening event on April 5th, we're going to go over those steps and we'll give you the links to our Google Calendar so that you can go on and select a time that works well for your family. And those individual family meetings are virtual, so it's perfect because if the student is at home and a parent is at work, everyone can still participate together just by using the link for that. In late spring, we'll plan some more transition activities to start to get to know the students and answer all of their questions and get them ready to start high school. And then in August, we get to our final step of the course selection process when you receive your final schedule for September. So up to that point in time, what we'll be doing is picking which classes you would like to take. And then in August, you will find out what period those classes will be and who the teacher will be. So that's not information that we have before that point, but that you would get in the summer. I hope that you found that information helpful. I do want to assure you again, there will be opportunity for us to speak again in both a smaller group and individually so that we can help you to pick your classes. And we look forward to working together over the next few years. And now we'll return to Dr. Capuano.
Thank you so much for coming this evening and for spending some time with us. There was a lot of information that was presented. But I would say this, as you may feel like you're swimming in all of this information right now, don't worry. We do this all the time, and we will help you through this process, especially if moms and dads, it's your first time venturing into the high school world. Please don't worry. There are a lot of people, the people who are presenting tonight included, who are here to help you. The last slide we'll share with you is a slide that has the names and emails of the people that spoke this evening, plus our Department Chair of Special Education. What I'd ask you to do is grab your phone, take a quick picture of this particular slide. We will also post it when we send out the link for tonight's presentation, should you want to see any of it again, or should some people who weren't here want to catch up and see that. Take a picture of this, send an email to anyone that's on this screen right now. They are more than willing to help and answer any of your specific questions. In addition, they know our program and they know our kids and they know how to help our students be successful. If you have questions in English or social studies, please email Susan Chester. She's more than willing to help. In world languages, you heard Karina Barrera speak. Math and science, Jared Blair is very willing and available for your questions. In music, Mark Dodge and Rachel Sidlowski in art, they are there for you. Lauren Steepo in business. She doesn't just only teach business, she's the senior class advisor and knows a lot about clubs and activities. Tom Lehman, the director of athletics, is available for your assistance. Vidya Bhatt can talk to you about any of the clubs or activities that we offer. Again, please don't take on too much in that area. We'd be interested in you focusing on one or two and doing that through your time at the high school and doing that well. Any questions related to special education can be sent Gianna Fleischman's direction. A lot of those questions will probably be answered in CSE meetings coming up this spring as we head toward the summer. We're glad that you were able to attend with us this evening. We're so glad that you were able to be here. And again, any questions you have whatsoever, please feel free to reach out. You can call me at the office as well. Have a wonderful evening. So glad you were able to spend it with us. Thank you.